As the outrage continues over the killing of Daunte Wright in Minnesota, there is another police video, this one out of Oklahoma City, that is equally disturbing. And the added element here, the new wrinkle, is that it is an elderly woman, a 74-year-old woman who was being arrested by Oklahoma City police. Now, this happened last summer. The video just came out because she has filed a lawsuit, but Ruby Jones was in her home when the police showed up saying they wanted to talk to her son.
And Charles, we should say, what she said is, you need a warrant.
Yeah, you need a warrant. And they never actually produced a warrant. They said they had one, but they never showed it to her, Ruby says. And they came into her home. Now, she was concerned that they were going to go do something to her. Her concern, I think, is that they're going to end up shooting her son. And she told them, he doesn't have any guns, he doesn't have any weapons, you don't need to have your guns out. Well, the police felt like Ruby was getting in their way, and what they did to her here, you're about to see the video, is really, really disturbing.
Let me see your hands.
He ain't gonna do that. He ain't got no gun.
Get out of the way.
He don't have a gun.
We don't know that, man.
I know that.
Well, I don't. And
But
don't be
I do.
You're fixing to go sit in the car.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
I called my grandson. Oh, you pull on me?
Yeah, you're right.
I got hard trouble. You don't care. You don't care.
Put her in the car.
I hear you. You said you don't care. What is your name?
It'll be on the report.
What is your name? No.
Quit resisting.
Hey, I got hard trouble. Hey, man. Oh, you're trying to kill me. I do have symptoms.
Maybe that'll make her come out. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
They broke her arm.
That is so upsetting to see that video. So as we said, this happened in August. The video just came out. And Ruby, we are being joined now by Ruby Jones and her attorney, Demario Solomon Simmons. Demario and Ruby, welcome to TMZ Live.
Hi, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you both. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Ruby,
so, Ruby,
first of all,
how are you doing? Because it was so hard for us to watch this. You had to endure it. How are you doing?
Well, I'm still having situations and problems from this incident that happened. And it's going to be a little bit before I can really, get back to myself or close to it. Because I already had issues when they came, and when they came in like they did and disrespected me, my home, I felt so violated and so hurt, and looked like I was not getting through to them my pain and my anguish. And I was in my own house, and they made accusations, and they was in there. They pulled me out of the room, and as they said, up against the wall, and they put me up in the air, and one arm I put behind me, and they jacked it up, and the other one, this is the one here that they was that broke, because not only did they jack it up, they pulled me up and then pulled me up in the air with the handcuffs in the air, and then dropped me down to the floor, and my knee, my right shoulder, and all of this hit the floor, and it was with a bang, and it was very painful. I was still in my underclothes. I had my gown on when they took me out of the house. I didn't even get to get nothing on my head, but still was my gas thing on my head. And they pulled me out there, and they was telling me to walk, and I was way up in the air. I said, I can't walk, I'm up in the air. They said, you getting out of here, you going out there. And I think they just get me out the house because they was in the back beating my son. And oh, praise God, doing a lot of things that I know I could hear, but I couldn't see up there. And that's why they pulled me out of my room, pulled me up. So had me up in the air, dropped me down, had no consideration on me. I even let them know that I said, man, I'm 74 years old, and I can hardly take this. And not only do that, I serve the community at daycare. I've done to help the people. I've done to do good in this neighborhood.
God, I'm just trying to understand what you must have been going through at that moment. So they have you outside They tell you they're arresting you. Did they end up arresting you? And did they arrest your son?
Charles, if I can answer that, he was having a mental health breakdown. They knew this. They know he lives there and he's had mental illness his whole life. And to your second question, they did not actually charge her with anything. And they placed her in a vehicle and she's there for about an hour. And then they just let her go because they knew she didn't do anything wrong. And she said, my arm is hurting. I'm in pain, and they had a duty to provide her medical attention, and they did not do that.
When I watch this video, to me, this is the paradigm of how police escalate situations that should not be escalated. I'm assuming that your lawsuit is going to have to do not just with what the police did, but the tactics they used. And it just seems like we have been talking now for a long time about when police need to escalate and when they need to de-escalate. When you see an elderly woman answer the door and you treat her like a criminal and scream at her, it seems to me that is exactly what people have been talking about over the last year.
Absolutely. It shows you, this week alone has shown us that it doesn't matter if you are having a fake $20 bill. It doesn't matter if you are in a Army uniform. It doesn't matter if you're an elderly person. If you have black skin, that is in and of itself something that police officers in America utilize as an excuse to escalate, to brutalize, and even kill. Ms. Jones, we've talked several times. She's so thankful to God that she has her life. And she's thankful to God that we believe that what she did, she saved the life maybe of her son by standing strong and saying, listen, he does not have a gun. She had a legitimate fear that her son's life was in danger. And if you can hear on the video, she's simply saying, he has a mental problem, he does not have a gun, please don't shoot him. And for that, she got brutalized, she got her arm broken, and she got treated with the most disrespect. And one last thing, Harvey, it does not take training to know how to treat people with respect, to respect elders, and treat people as humans as they are. We know for a fact, if this was a white woman in a prominent white neighborhood, there's no way that would have happened.
This happened several months after George Floyd's death. Was that on your mind when you saw the cops there? Because I know you were in fear there, but
Yes.
were you thinking of George Floyd when they were at your door?
When they came to my door, I was thinking of just all the deaths that I have seen, since I've been here. And him being down there like that, and I saw him in the when the man had his foot on his neck, and when the man was rocking back and forth on the man, and I heard him, when he said for his mama, and really did something to me already. And then when they came, they don't have no respect. They pushed me out of the way in my own door, and it was just brutal and mean how they did me in my own house, and I hadn't done anything. And I just asked them one person if you ever warned, and they didn't. And they just went on in there and ran out back there with him, beat him up, just shooting rubber bullets on him. It was just traumatic. It was a traumatic thing. And I said, you see that all the time. And then they come to my house, and I was just, I don't know what to do. And I already had problems. And that just added fuel to the fire.
We are so sorry. We are
Very
so sorry.
difficult video. And Ruby, sorry for what you've gone through. And obviously we'll be following this case as you go forward. Thank you so much for being with us, Ruby. And we wish you the best. Demario, thanks for being with us. And we will check back in with you guys.
Thank you so much for your concern. Keep us in your prayers.
We will.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
That video is,
Wow.
oh.
It really tears your heart
I
out.
watch that video and I see my grandmother, and it's
It's really hard.
very upsetting.
Really hard.